Join me, I am your host Dreadwing. Dive into the world of magic and explore the most stories full of wonder, fantastical delights. The lights.
Chapter 37. Fear Part 1. Erwin opened the door to his home before picking up his bag of grocery. He walked inside and shut the door before walking over to his kitchen. He set the bag down on the countertop, and Kenny quickly snatched an apple from the bag. "Been a while since I've had one of these," Kenny remarked before taking a bite. Erwin didn't respond as he took out the rest of the groceries. Kenny raised an eyebrow as he was munching on another bite. "You're gonna cook?" Kenny asked. "Is that a problem?" Erwin asked. "Just doesn't seem like you can handle it," Kenny answered. "I've been doing just fine for 4 months," Erwin reminded. "Sure, whatever," Kenny shrugged. "By the way, you got a gift left at the door." Erwin grew tense at the statement. "Relax, I waited until they left," Kenny reassured. "It was just some fancy wine." "Pixis," Erwin realized. "I didn't think he'd come all the way out here." "If that's the case, I might as well leave," Kenny declared. "Guess the one thing I didn't consider was your pals coming over for a chat." "They don't usually come over," Erwin admitted. "I haven't really seen them in the 4 months prior to Megatron coming here." "Speaking of that asshole, it's been 5 months since we've last seen him," Kenny hissed. "I thought this was supposed to be some espionage mission, but we've been doing nothing but sitting on our asses." "They haven't come to the island yet," Erwin reminded, "but it's only a matter of time before they do." Kenny sighed in agreement as he finished his apple. "Surprised you didn't leave," Erwin admitted, "and also that you haven't tried to kill me." "Well, you did break me out, so I owe you," Kenny shrugged. "Also, if I killed you, I'd have more to worry about than that buckethead. I'm already a wanted fugitive." Erwin didn't respond to that as he turned on the fire. Kenny was referring to Levi, he knew that. But he also knew it wasn't wise to bring it up. Just because killing MPs was his original profession didn't mean that he wouldn't have a problem with killing the Survey Corps. He just hoped that the Marlians would arrive soon so that he wouldn't be in such an awkward situation with the Ripper. Erin winced as a nurse drew blood from him. The moment she finished, the wound regenerated in an instant. Hanji marveled over the healed wound before taking the syringe from the nurse's hand. "This is wonderful," Hanji smiled as she placed some blood on a petri dish. "Regeneration time is in an instant." Hanji handed the syringe back to the irritated nurse before examining his blood sample. "Your blood is coexisting with the Energon. It's amazing." "Yeah," Erin mumbled, "amazing. And according to Buckethead, Annie is still alive, so it doesn't seem that the lifespan will be shortened," Hanji added. Erin grunted in response. "Where's Optimus?" "I wanted to train with him." "He's over at the Cybertronian ship," Hanji replied. "He's trying to fix something that will allow to find other Energon deposits, maybe even another ship." Hanji then picked up a Cybertronian blade for the 3D gear and showed it to Erin. "We can make more of these with actual Cybertronian tools instead of our own. We have to heat this up to the point where the smoke can burn our faces off. It's so exciting." "Yeah," Erin said. "Can I go right now?" "Oh, of course," Hanji answered. "I'll call you over when I need something from you." "Thank you," Erin said as he stood up. "Oh, by the way," Hanji began, "did your hair grow?" Erin was startled by the question. "What?" "Your hair," Hanji continued, "it looks a little bit longer." Erin touched his hair and pulled, noticing that it was starting to go past his neck. "I guess it's because I don't use the 3D gear anymore," Erin commented. "Well, if you do want a haircut, say the word and I'll send you to a barber," Hanji proclaimed. Erin nodded his head in understanding before walking back to the castle. "Marley." Zeke knocked on Matthew's door and waited for the Titan to respond. Zeke watched as Matthew opened the door and glared at him. "What?" he hissed in his normal voice. "I have an update on Berthold," Zeke explained. "Meet me in my office after training the warriors." That seemed to catch the Titan's interest, as his anger subsided to interest. "Fine, I'll meet with you later," Matthew relented as he shut the door. Zeke sighed as he walked down the hall to the next war meeting. At first he feared Matthew, now he was pretty sure he was starting to hate him. the Survey Corps were talking with one another at lunch when Aaron sat down next to them. He was about to take a bite into his bread but noticed all eyes were on him. "What's wrong?" Aaron asked. "Nothing," Sasha answered, "just nothing." "How are you feeling?" Armin asked. "I feel fine," Aaron answered. "Have experiments been too much on you?" Mikasa asked. "Mikasa, I'm fine," Aaron insisted before taking a bite out of the bread. There was silence once more before Connie slammed his hands on the table. "All right, that's it," Connie began. "Aaron, your eyes are creepy." "Connie," Armin scolded. "Someone had to say it." Connie shouted, "Can't you just make it go away?" "I can't," Aaron answered. "It's part of my body now, and I don't even know how to turn it off." "Can't you get Prime to help you?" Sasha pleaded. "He's just as new to this as I am," Aaron admitted. "Enigan is not supposed to be in a human, and I've been able to survive for months. It's strange." "Well, you've definitely become stranger by the day," Jean proclaimed. "Those eyes make you look more freakish than ever." "You're one to talk, horse face," Aaron hissed. "Suicidal maniac," Jean shot back. "Pompous bastard," Aaron growled. "You wanna go?" Jean demanded as he stood up. "Believe me, I'd be happy to," Aaron smirked as he stood up as well. His smirk disappeared when his friends were looking at him in fear. Aaron noticed something out of the corner of his eyes and looked down to see blue veins in his arms. His hands began to tremble as he touched his face. "Aaron dash. I don't know what's happening." Aaron began to panic. "It can't be happening, not again." "Aaron, breathe," Mikasa pleaded as she put her hands on his shoulders. "Get Hanji," Jean ordered. "On it," Sasha said as she grabbed her bread and jumped from the table. Ima sat down in Hanji's office as Commander Hanji fixed her papers. The Titan shifter crossed her arms as Hanji smiled. "There a reason you called me here?" Ima demanded. "Yes, there is, and it's about our little new project," Hanji answered. "About Aaron's new eye color?" Ima questioned. "It's what made the eye color," Hanji corrected. "It was this Enigan serum that we got from Kenny Ackerman. He probably picked it off of Rod Rice." "Point?" Ima demanded. "We administered it to Aaron," Hanji explained. "So far there have been no negative effects in the past 5 months. According to Megatron's reports, Annie Leonhardt has had it for over 9 months total. So we were thinking that if we get another Enigan serum, that we administer it to you." Ima grew tense at the thought. "Of your own volition, as to our agreement," Hanji reassured. "I don't know," Ima admitted. "Are you even sure that it's absolutely safe?" "Data shows that the serum works well with the Titan shifter's systems," Hanji explained. "Regeneration time has been faster, and there hasn't been any known side effect of the serum." "So far," Ima said. Hanji sighed. "I know you're worried, and I know that you don't want to do anything that would shorten your lifespan, but we are monitoring the situation. And we are trying to move as quickly as possible to stay as evenly matched with Marley as possible. They will administer the Enigan serum to the rest of the Titan shifters. If you do decide no, you will be putting yourself in an extremely vulnerable position. You could be captured and killed. That is the last thing that you and Historia want." Ima tapped her arm with her finger. "If there aren't any permanent long-term effects, I'll take the serum." Hanji nodded her head. "Thank you, Ima." The door opened and Sasha came bursting through the room. "Something is wrong with Aaron," Sasha exclaimed. Hanji got up from her seat and followed Sasha out the door. Ima sighed to herself and stood up. "Guess there is a side effect," Ima sighed. "Marley." Megatron opened the door to Zeke's office and saw that Zeke was looking over some paperwork. "You said you had an update regarding the holder of the Colossal Titan," Megatron recalled. "I did," Zeke said. "It's tentative, according to Yelena." "What exactly is it, so we can accelerate the process?" Megatron demanded. "Whatever is in Berthold is killing him," Zeke explained. "The Dark Hennigan is slowly breaking him down and destroying him, like you said. Because of this, there has been speculation that his power will be transferred over." "How exactly is the Dark Hennigan destroying him?" Megatron asked. "He's losing his hair, his arm is charred black, and he can't regenerate," Zeke listed. "It's a slow process, but it is happening. They said they were going to transfer him over once all options are exerted. Persuade them to transfer that power," Megatron ordered. "Make them fear the prospect of losing the Colossal Titan in the middle of a war. What if it falls into enemy hands? Or worse, the devils of Paradise Island. Plant those thoughts in their mind and make them scared." Even if I do that, the decision is ultimately up to Commander Calvi, Zeke declared. He's a stubborn man. I might have his respect and trust, but it is hard to dissuade him. Do what you must, Megatron ordered. It's better for everyone if the current holder is killed. You do not want to deal with what happens next. What could be worse than you? Zeke challenged. You don't want to know, Megatron responded. Out of curiosity, who would the colossal titan be given to? Porco Galliard, Zeke answered. He's currently the only warrior who's completed Marley's training. They'll give it to him so he can fight in the war. At the very least, I'll see less of him, since he'll be on the front lines, Megatron declared. Matthew, did the island say anything in regards to meeting with me and the Eldian restorationists? Zeke asked. Because in regards to this current situation, I can persuade Commander Calvi to send ships to the island. Megatron thought it over. If you can cover for me for tonight, I can go to Paradis and get the answer. Zeke nodded his head in understanding. I'll be sure to do that. Later that night, Optimus arrived back to the castle and transformed back into his bipedal mode. He noticed Hanji in her outside workbench going over some notes. Commander Hanji, Optimus spoke. Hanji jolted before turning her attention to Optimus. Hey, didn't expect you back. I thought you'd be camping out at the ship again. I thought I would return and help you with technological weapons, Optimus explained. Is something wrong? You seem distressed. Hanji ran her hand through her hair. I think there's been a side effect to the Energon serum. Is Iran Dash? At the moment, fine, Hanji answered. Apparently an incident happened. It caused a reaction. The Energon spread throughout his arms. What happened to him afterward? Optimus asked. He's calmed down, Hanji answered. I've been speculating the Energon spread based on the same reason that his Titan powers activated. It might have been a strong will to fight gene. Where is he now? Optimus asked. His room, I think, Hanji speculated. I need to go speak with him, Optimus proclaimed. Don't go rushing in, Hanji advised. I know you're worried, but the last thing we need right now is something to trigger another side effect. Optimus's mouth formed a thin line. I understand. The two heard an engine noise and looked up to see Megatron landing in front of them in his bipedal mode. I'm here with an update, Megatron informed. Finally, Hanji exclaimed as she stood up. I'll go get Queen Historia and Captain Levi. Later in the makeshift classroom, there are the Titan shifters, the generals, and the next generation of warriors, Megatron explained as he drew a diagram of the pecking order on the board. Hanji was furiously writing down the notes while Optimus and Levi listened intently. Meanwhile, Historia had her hands folded. The head of the entire military is Commander Calvi, Megatron began. There are a few other commanders that work with him, but I don't know their names. The head is the only one I've ever interacted with. Shouldn't you have tried to get their names? Levi demanded. It'd be too obvious if I asked the names of every commander in Marley military when the persona I created is someone who doesn't want to be there, Megatron explained. Besides, I seem to be on the commander's good graces, so it shouldn't matter that much. Wow, Buckethead, I'm impressed, Hanji mockingly smiled. You're actually behaving. I actually goaded one of the lieutenants to shoot me in the face for sparing an Eldian, but sure, I'm behaving, Megatron deadpanned. I'm surprised you haven't been caught, Historia admitted. Megatron hummed in response. As far as I know, Calvi is the only one who has complete access and regulation to the Energon experiment. The Beast Titan has access, but I doubt he has a say in the matter and is only there to control the Titan. But if we eliminate Commander Calvi, it could put their goals and objectives on hold. The next commander is Theo Magarth, Megatron continued. He's in charge of the Eldian warriors, and we both hate each other. What did you do? Levi demanded. He thinks I'm an Eldian because I helped out Eldians and broke a Marlian's hand, Megatron explained. Frankly, I just like aggravating him now just for the fun of it. How about you don't? Hanji advised, so you don't get caught. As long as I'm in Calvi's good graces and I uphold my end of the deal, Magarth can't do a thing to me, Megatron proclaimed. Does Theo Magarth pick and choose the warriors next in line to inherit the power of the Titans? Optimus asked. I can't give a solid answer, Megatron admitted. Magarth is responsible for their training exercises, but choosing them might require a collective vote. Is there a chance you can influence the vote? Optimus asked. Not enough to raise suspicion, Megatron answered. Megatron circled the row of Titan shifters. These are the current Titan shifters and current threats. Reiner Braun is the armored titan, but I haven't made much contact with him. He seems to be avoiding me for the time being. Does he suspect you? Hanji demanded. So far no, Megatron answered. Because of the lack of interaction, I haven't said anything to him that would warrant a relapse or suspicion. Meanwhile, Lionheart and the Colossal have been locked within the Titan research facility. I haven't seen them since I arrived. However, I suspect that they're using Lionheart to create more Energon-infected Titans. What about Berthold? Historia asked. Have they used the Dark Energon in him? No, Megatron answered. After the failure with regular Energon, they don't intend on using Dark Energon for the time being. I told the Beast Titan to create a reason for the Colossal Titan's power to be transferred, so the Dark Energon won't be used. What about Porco and Peak? Hanji read from the board. Peak possesses the powers of the Cart Titan, Megatron answered. From what I've gathered, that power allows the user to remain within their Titan form for as long as they want. Porco is not a Titan shifter, but he is next in line to receive the powers of the Titans. On a related note, he wants to kill me. Everyone wants to kill you, Levi reminded. Well, this one wants to kill me based on a lie, Megatron explained. Apparently his brother was the Jaws Titan before the Queen's wife. In the official report, the Titan shifters proclaimed that I took Porco's brother instead of Ema. They didn't want to take full responsibility, so they shifted the blame onto me to avoid the consequences. To be honest, I don't blame them, Hanji admitted. Their mission was a failure. Explaining they lost the Jaws Titan because of their mistake could lead to their deaths. It does provide perfect blackmail if one of them figures out my identity, Megatron smirked. What about the next generation of warriors? Optimus asked. Colton Falco Grice, Garby Braun, and Zofia, Megatron listed. Wait, Braun? Historia questioned. She's Reiner Braun's cousin, Megatron explained, an arrogant brat who fully believes in the Marlian propaganda, and she's currently on the path of inheriting one of the Titans. Zofia is as well, but she is mostly quiet and reserved. What about the brothers? Levi asked. I'm sure that Colt and Falco do not believe in Marley propaganda and are only in the military for different reasons, not because they want to lay their lives down for the country. Megatron proclaimed, I've been ordered by Marley to train these four to be the next set of warriors. You can't be that stupid to teach them your fighting style, Levi declared. Bold of you to assume I would do that, Megatron shot back. I've been teaching them my former third-in-command's fighting style. One which I'm not very good at. I wasn't aware you knew his fighting style, Optimus admitted in slight surprise. We trained together in the arena and picked up techniques from each other, Megatron explained. They should be able to make some progress, but not enough to take us on. And you haven't been caught by anyone else yet? Hanji asked. No, I have not, Megatron hissed. Kind of hard to believe considering your bombastic personality, Hanji retorted, and that's putting it lightly. You hold yourself to a high standard, which is pretty noticeable, Historia recalled. Like I'd blow my cover like a fucking jackass, Megatron responded in his other vernacular. Holy shit, go back, Hanji stiffened while Levi was surprised, but didn't show it on his face. What is the status of Annie Leonhardt and Berthold Hoover? Optimus asked. Lionheart is currently still alive, Megatron answered. As for the other one, there is speculation that Dark Energon is slowly killing him. The military is most likely going to transfer his power over to Porco, since he is the only one who has completed Marley's military training. Wouldn't they say a little more concern about the loss of the Colossal Titan? Historia asked. Something tells me they want to continue studying the effects of Dark Energon, Megatron explained. I'm trying to find a way to sabotage it without raising suspicion. Is there any chance you can get closer to Annie and Berthold's experimentation? Hanji asked. I don't have that kind of clearance yet, Megatron responded. There is the situation of Zeke Gija. He says he's close to convincing the commander to send a ship to the island. I doubt you'd be so accepting of the decision. Hanji groaned as she slammed her head on the table. We might have to. We've been struggling with technological advancements. Sure, that's a good idea. Levi asked her. All we have is a broken ship, Hanji groaned. We have to, as much as we shouldn't. I'll inform the Titan shifter about the situation, Megatron proclaimed. Hanji gave a thumbs up before slamming her hand back on the table. Meeting adjourned. Megatron deactivated the holoform while Historia stood up. I'm going to my room, she informed. Good night. Historia left the room while Optimus was about to help Hanji up. I'll take care of her, Levi told him as he stood up. Go check up on Aaron. He might need you right now. Optimus nodded his head. Thank you. Optimus exited the room while Levi kicked Hanji in her leg. Get up, he told her. Hanji groaned. I won't carry you, he told her. Hanji replied. Historia opened the door to her room and saw that Emma was reading a book on their bed. Emma glanced up at the door, but lifted her head when she recognized her wife. What are you doing? Historia asked. Waiting for you, Emma replied. Didn't have to, Historia reasoned as she climbed into bed. Emma set the book aside and wrapped her arms around her wife. Shitty day? Emma asked. Historia nodded her head. We might have to accept the aid from the Eldian restorationist. What about you? They want me to take that new Titan serum, Emma replied. Historia looked up at Emma. Is that safe? I don't know, Emma said. I said I wouldn't take until enough results said it was. That's good, Historia smiled. I don't want you getting hurt. Especially after what happened with Aaron, Emma huffed. What happened with Aaron? Historia asked in confusion. Something with the Enneagon, Emma answered. I didn't get the full details. I hope he's okay. Historia sighed. Annoying guy, but I hope he's okay too, Emma agreed. Historia kissed Emma and wrapped her arms around her. I'm glad today's over. Me too, Emma smiled. Optimus was facing the door to Aaron's room. He raised his hand and knocked on the door, hoping that Aaron wasn't asleep. The door opened, and Optimus saw Aaron's now blue eyes staring back at him. You're back, Aaron said as he stepped outside his room. I came to check on everyone and inform Hanji about the ship, Optimus explained. I did hear about what happened today. Optimus saw Aaron looking down at his arms and rubbing them, almost as if he was trying to wipe something off of his arm. I don't know how it happened, Aaron said. I didn't mean to dash. You did nothing wrong, Optimus proclaimed. None of us expected this to happen. Can you tell me what happened afterward? I don't know, Aaron admitted. I remembered panicking, and everyone else helping me calm down. When I did calm down, the Enneagon faded. Now I'm just worried it's going to happen again. Optimus took Aaron's arm and examined it. There was nothing wrong with it, meaning that the Enneagon receded back into his spine and remained in his eyes. None of the medical tools worked on the ship. He couldn't scan for Aaron's vitals and give him a proper diagnostic. He couldn't give him medical advice, but he could try to give him his own advice. Would you like to come with me to the neutral ship? Optimus asked. Aaron was confused by the question, but nodded his head. He needed to be away from here anyway. Later. It's a lot scarier here at night, Aaron admitted from Optimus's shoulder as the Titan walked into the ship. I figured we would be able to discuss this situation in a more controlled setting, Optimus explained. I am sorry if the ship is making you feel uneasy. But why did you bring me here to talk? Aaron asked. We could have just stayed within the wall to do that. Optimus opened the door to the main control room. I have been fixing the control panels, and I fixed something that I believe you would like to see. Aaron raised an eyebrow at that as Optimus offered his servo. Aaron jumped on and Optimus placed him on the keyboard. Could you cover your eyes? Optimus asked. Aaron grew even more confused. You don't usually do this kind of stuff, I'm worried. I can assure you it is completely harmless, Optimus proclaimed. Aaron noticed that Optimus looked rather eager at what he wanted to show him. Aaron shrugged and covered his eyes. It's not like Optimus was going to hurt him. So what's it you want to show me? Aaron asked as he heard Optimus move around. I have been working on repairing more of this ship in order to determine whether or not we could track Enneagon mines and other vessels on this world, Optimus explained. What I discovered was that this ship was not just a neutral ship. It was a ship that belonged to a few of the upperclassmen in the golden age of Cybertronian society. But I thought that everyone chose a side during the war, Aaron recalled. Not everyone, Optimus continued as he flipped a switch to a certain power source. Some had self-preservations. And this ship, because of its make, has many beneficial features. One of which I know you will like. Aaron heard something turn on and was tempted to open his eyes, but waited until given the word. You can open your eyes, Optimus told him. Aaron removed his hands from his face and slowly opens his eyes. His eyes adjusted to the room and gasped as he found himself in a sea full of stars. Clouds of different colors like blue and purple surrounded his vision. Swirling vortexes flew over his head, and worlds of different sizes and shapes flew past him. This is Aaron trailed off in disbelief. The final frontier, Optimus answered with a small smile. At least, that is what the humans on Earth called it. This is amazing, Aaron exclaimed with a smile on his face. This is what the outside of this world looks like. Aaron touched one of the clouds in his proximity, and saw it flow through his fingers like hair. He let out a small laugh as the small stars continued to burn bright in the universe. He reached out towards the stars, but stopped when he realized that this was a place he could never reach. Optimus noticed the solemn expression on Aaron's face as the Titan shifter lowered his hand. Did I upset you? Aaron shook his head. This is one of the kindest things you've done for me. It's just I've had a lot going on. I have noticed you have been distant lately, Optimus remarked as he sat down on the floor. Is there something on your mind? Aaron laughed at the question. A lot of things. I've been seeing a lot of things. Like what? Optimus asked. Aaron was immediately about to blurt about his death, but the memory of Optimus's corpse flashed through his mind, causing him to clutch his head in pain. Aaron, Optimus spoke with worry. I'm fine, it's just been happening a lot, Aaron explained. I've been seeing memories. Memories? Optimus questioned in surprise. Memories of my father, Aaron continued, noticing his head no longer aching and the memory of Optimus dying fading away, and his life in Mali. That is why you have been acting strange, Optimus realized. Aaron, wide ash. Optimus stopped himself short when he noticed the sad and guilty expression on his face. Aaron needed comfort, not to be reprimanded. What have you been seeing? Optimus asked. My aunt's death, Aaron answered, his friends and first wife turning into titans, his fingers getting cut off. Did you tell Armin and Mikasa? Optimus asked. Aaron shook his head. They wouldn't get it. Aaron, they are your family, Optimus reminded. Even if they would not understand, they would not want you to be suffering in silence. It's not that easy, Aaron proclaimed. They have this optimism that things will work out, that we can make peace with Mali. I've seen too much in my father's memories. Too much pain and suffering for the Eldians on the other side. I do agree with you on that, Optimus said. It would be hard to find a resolution to this issue without some sort of conflict happening. In regards to your father's memories, I do believe you should talk to someone about it. Can I talk to you? Aaron asked. Optimus nodded his head. I try to think about freedom and a better life for everyone here, Aaron began, but all I see is death. I see my aunt's fresh corpse pulled from the river. I see my comrades getting turned into titans for eternity. These were the same titans I saw in the Battle of Trost, right before you showed up. Every single day in Mali was just a nightmare for me, my family. Everyone cursed us and wanted us to die. Aaron laughed sadly. It's going to be like that if we ever go there, and I don't know if I can see anything else. Aaron looked at Optimus. And that's just the general stuff. I don't want to get into too much detail. Aaron, is there anything I can do to alleviate this pain? Optimus asked. I don't know, Aaron answered. It's nice just talking to you. And you're listening. If you need me, I will be here, Optimus told him, whenever you're ready to talk about it. Aaron let a nebula pass through his fingers before smiling. I do like this. Can we show the others sometimes? We would have to tell Hanji first to prevent a strained outburst, Optimus reminded. Definitely, Aaron agreed. Optimus turned away and let Aaron enjoy the hologram and thought over the situation. He won't tell the others just yet. Aaron didn't give him explicit permission to tell his family, but he still had to find a way to help Aaron. He had to try for his sake.
I'm glad you enjoyed that video/gameplay. Just remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Until next time, goodbye!